So that's where you spend most of the time in that room, huh?
Yeah. Fortunately, since I work from home, I spend all my time in here, and I got a plumber coming next week to throw a urinal up on the wall over here.
Oh, dude, you'll
Uh,
never have to leave the room then.
Unless I got to go number two, I could stay here all day.
Well, I mean, you can actually do that in the urinal. I mean, you just have to
Yeah,
clean it up later.
just push it down with your heel.
That's what the maid's for, right? Hey, I think we're live. What's going on?
Oh, just what is it? Thursday already?
Uh,
Been a crazy week. Um,
yeah.
Ready for the weekend.
What's the weather like out there in Washington State?
Washington, dude, it's sunny right now. I mean, blue skies. My daughter's doing high school golf, so I was able to go walk around the course on Tuesday and watch her play about 10 holes. It's just nice getting outside again, you know?
Yeah, no, it's definitely nice. That's awesome. How long has your daughter been doing golf?
She just started about 3 weeks ago. She's a freshman in high school, sophomore in high school. Excuse me.
Oh, wow. Damn, where's
So,
the
and
time?
I know exactly. With sports in high school, they're only 6 weeks long, and they like cramming everything in the last since they all just started going back to school in January.
Yep.
So it's not a real season. It's like they're breaking it up into four
kind of like
pieces.
yeah, they're kind of everybody's trying to get the feel for going back to school, and I know my kids are the same way. Actually, my son Connor is going to be graduating from college out towards Boston on the 15th of next month in May. So that's going to be kind of cool. Wow. They're actually going to do a ceremony. They're going to, I guess he's allowed to bring two people. So it's going to be my ex-wife and me. That'll be fun. And we're not riding.
Do you have to sit next to her?
No. I'm sure. I mean, no. I mean, I'm sure she won't. She'll probably say hi, but that'll be about it. But that's fine. Hey, it's
no sweat off your back.
Hey, you know what? Our son's graduating, and it's another, venture of his life, so to speak. That's cool. And my daughter, she's going to be going into, being a senior in high school. My gosh, she just got her license. She got a new car, so she's all excited about that. And
Cool.
yeah, I'll be turning 29 in October. And man, where does the time go?
Yeah, you and I, we figured out to do it around the same time because my she's graduating from college next year. So I don't know what was in the water around that time, but it was something.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, I guess we should say hi to some people. We got Sean Zimmerman here. What's going on? Hey, what's up, Alan? I'm Mr. Garber, Alan Garber. He's here. What's going on? Waiting for the man's curtain, Rob. Yeah, well, it's going to be a little while until I actually posted something on Instagram and Facebook the other day. I will be going out to the West Coast. I don't have a date yet, but next time I take some vacation time, probably within the next 8 months, I'll be going out there and catch up with Johnny Bean and Caleb and all those guys. That'll be kind of cool. It'll be fun to go out and see those guys. Speaking of Johnny Bean, what's going on, my man?
What's up, Johnny?
He's going to be 29 2 months from today. Well, happy negative 2 month 29. 6 strings, 10 fingers. So, yeah, what's going on, everybody? Thanks for showing up. Kurt and I just thought we'd go live. We're going to do about an hour. I got to run at 6 o'clock. I have someone I'm going to be meeting at 6 and or a little bit after. But
it's a male that he's meeting, just so you guys know.
It is a male. It is a female. So all you ladies that are watching, please don't get jealous. You'll have your turn. There's like no chick watching. It's all like freaking dudes. So whatever.
Just be patient. Speaking of sandwiches.
Yeah, be patient with me, right?
Yeah, it's kind of nice to do this partway through the week. It's 2 p.m. where Johnny and I are, and this is give me a nice little break before I get back into work. But yeah. So real quick, Rob, I texted you the other day. You said you were in the doctor's office or something. What are you okay? What happened?
Uh, well, interesting
Should, should,
story. We're not going to
should
talk
we
about that.
should we not do this? Is this a are we
No, no.
violating HIPAA?
I swear. I had the X-ray and everything. Believe it or not, I broke my back. I fractured my lower right side of my lower back, the C, whatever you want to call it. I know you can't tell now because this was a week ago Thursday, a week ago today. This happened. I actually broke my back, and um, I don't want to say I'm almost all better, but I've been pretty much low key for the last week. I've been out of work, and I'm actually going back to work tomorrow.
You're
So
a
I
quick
feel,
healer.
yeah, I mean, I am, but yeah, I literally, I actually broke my back. I fractured my back.
Yeah. Well, what crazy activity were you doing to cause a fracture in your lower lumbar?
Well, honestly, it's just, I hate to admit it, but it's just an incredibly, insanely unhealthy amount of sex. And it got to the point where, I was just having so much of it. And it just, I mean, hey, I am 47. So just with all that sex and all that pounding and banging and turning and twisting and top and bottom on the side and on the whatever, finally I felt something pop. And I'm like, hey, I mean, we
It was
got
the
to.
wrong thing that popped.
Well, there's a few things that pop, but unfortunately, the thing that was popping had to take a break for a while because the right side of my back broke. So,
That reminds me of one summer I had so much sex I had to ice my balls.
well, no, honestly, I mean, I'm not going to say I didn't have sex. What I'm going to say is I did not break my back by having sex. Um, as much as I would like to say that I did. Actually, no, I don't think I'd like to say that I did. So any of you guys that, on a serious note, I did break my back. I did fracture the lower right side.
Real quick, Rob, do you have people sign a waiver before they enter the room?
For sex?
Yeah, like a release form.
It's like, well, I call it a pleasure agreement. They admit that they're going to have a certain amount of pleasure, and then once so
Press hard, 3 copies.
I don't even know how to respond there. Yeah. Anyways, so if you guys follow me, you'll notice that last Thursday, I put up a video on Instagram and on Facebook where I was actually doing elevated tumbling over a chair, and the chair is about 4 feet high, and it's actually Japanese for ukemi. And I was doing that. I've been doing that stuff for 20, I don't know, 30 years, whatever. I used to do gymnastics years ago. And it's, yeah, I guess it's not something that, is the most safe thing to do. But I did about 5, 6 of them before I did the video. I was all warmed up because I trained early that morning. And the ones in the video, yeah, that's it right there. Those, that's legit. And that's a week ago today. And those actual tumbles were fine. So I got the video. I went inside because I'm actually opening up my children's. I'm going to start a kids karate class now that COVID's kind of coming out of the woodwork, so to speak, in a good way. I'm back doing different classes, the martial arts classes and the fitness classes, of course, and my firearms classes are really exploding too. But I want to start a kids class again, a kids martial arts class, a very formalized class. So been kind of putting some videos up and looking to start that in May. But when I came inside and I posted that video, I'm like, oh, I want to get something with a little bit wider of a lens so you can see the recovery a little bit better and whatever. Well, I went back out, dragged the chair back out. It's right in my backyard. And it was probably about 10 o'clock in the morning. It was actually wet. And again, I just done it. I don't know, 5, 6 times prior to that. The ones that you see in the video were the final 2. And I set the camera up or my phone, and I went running up, and I actually slipped on the grass, and I was actually going that way. That's not the one. That was one of the good ones. But I slipped when I did my takeoff, and I cleared the chair and I came over it. It wasn't like a total failure, but I got more elevation than I did forward momentum. And I made it over the chair, but unfortunately I came down, bang, and I hit my lower back on the right side, Right. Those are the good ones. And if you were to see, because I have it on video, if you were to see the one where I actually broke my back, you wouldn't, and you didn't know any better, you wouldn't think anything different. You'd be like, okay, whatever. I mean, but as soon as I hit, I heard and felt a crack. And I got up and I was like, oh shit, that's not good. That's not good. And it literally, I mean, I literally kind of dragged myself over, turned the video off on my phone and dragged the chair back. And I had everything I could do to get up the stairs, to take off my martial arts top and my hakama and get in the shower. And I'll tell you, for the next 2 days, I could walk. Anything that was straight up I could do, but any kind of sitting in a chair, any kind of bending over or twisting or anything was absolutely incredibly painful. So I went to the doctors the next day. They did an x-ray and they said, yeah, you actually fractured that portion of your back. And they wanted me to be out of work for like 3 weeks to a month. And I'm like, no, I can't. I'm not. I don't call in sick. I'm not like that. I just don't do it. So I basically told my doctor, her name's Dr. Connolly, I said, can you please, just write me a note. I'll stay out for the week, but I need to be back. So I'm actually going back to work tomorrow. And the last 3 days, I feel like, I mean, I haven't been really working out very much because I've been trying to rest it and ice it and everything, but I feel great. I mean, if you were to see me now, you wouldn't even know anything happened. So I went back to see my doctor this morning just for the final clearance to go back to work tomorrow. And she was like, wow, she's like, I've never seen anyone break their back and then literally be moving around like you are with whatever this C number fracture or whatever whatever it was. She said, how do you feel? And I said, great. I mean, I could probably go out and actually jog 3-4 miles now because I'm straight up. And if I lay on my back and I do any kind of abdominal exercises, that's what puts pressure on the back. So that's a little bit difficult. But
what other activities do you do when you're laying on your back?
Well, that's the second way that I broke my back. So we already discussed that. So, but yeah, I'm doing good. But no, I mean, my mom and dad have been coming down every day and like bringing me groceries. I'm like, Dad, I'm fine. I mean, I can, I'm just, due to the nature of my job, I don't know, 60-70% of the time it's not, it's pretty low key. But then if something happens, there's a fight, something breaks out, I got to respond, I got to deal with it. So obviously it's it's a little, it is what it is. But yeah, I'm going back to work tomorrow. I feel good. Still hurts, it still aches, and I'm not, I have to take it easy, and I will. But I'm good. I'm all set. So, but yeah. So I've been dealing with that for the last 7 days. So,
well, like I told you earlier, we're not as young as we used to be, and back when we're 12, 13, 14 years old, you could do that, and you get hurt, you immediately bounce back. Your body heals quicker. Your bones aren't as brittle. I mean, what you did probably would have broke a young kid's back anyway.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I talked to my doctor and I actually showed her the video of what I was doing so she could actually see. And she said, I mean, ironically, the 6-7 that I did prior to that, I mean, normally in the dojo, you're doing that stuff on a mat. So even if I had done that on a mat in the dojo, I wouldn't have broke my back because it would have been more padded. But I was doing them on the hard grass, and it's still thawing here. So this, the grass is still kind of not icy, but it's whatever. I mean, it was actually kind of soft that day. But the way that I jumped and I slipped, I mean, I don't care if you're 55 or you're 25. I mean, anybody could have broken their back on that particular fall. So, the part of me that's like, oh, my mom and dad, they're like, oh, you're 47, you can't be doing that. I'm like, what are you guys talking about? I've been doing this stuff for years and I still do it. And I'm going to continue to do it because that's my DNA. I'm not going to stop. I don't stop. I continue on. I train every day and I'll keep doing it because that's just who I am. But that being said, I'm pretty happy that I healed as fast as and I'm not completely healed yet, but hey, it is what it is. That's just the nature of the beast. I mean, you play with the snakes, you're going to get bit. And I like it. We're all human,
Right.
But anyways, that's what's going on with me. How about you? And then we're going to get into talking about some guitars.
You know what? I'm gonna start a new build. So kind of cool that we're doing this show because we can talk a little bit about it. But I've gone back and forth. I had a selection of 3 guitars. I was either going to buy a Wolfgang stand.
Yeah,
That's your
what
X-ray.
yeah, that's my tripod. That's there wasn't much broken there, I can tell you that, but that's beside the point. Nerd Halen, Caleb, you have to rewind this video to see what we've been talking about in the last 10 minutes. So if you just jumped on at 5:15, Caleb, hello, Nerd Halen, hello, Caleb, my good friend, you've got to go back and see that because that's probably going to be the best part of the show. We haven't even talked about guitars yet.
It's a build-up. It's a build-up, and then it's a release.
We just got all the pornographic stuff out of the way first.
I didn't think you would show.
Coughing and it actually hurts. I'm like, it actually does kind of still hurt my back.
Oh man. Hey Caleb, thanks for joining. Brad Cook, thanks for joining from down under, and Nick Horton. So anyway, as I was saying before you showed the X-ray, I had it down to 3 guitars. It was either a Wolfgang Standard. I got about $500, $600 to play with. I was either going to do that, a red and white and black Frankie, or a Bumblebee. And I asked the family to give their vote, and it was an anonymous vote on the Bumblebee. So
nice.
I've already started ordering parts. I got them coming in. I'm going to order my body tomorrow.
And that $500, with the way everything is now, has probably been gone. That's probably the volume pot cost that these days.
Yeah, volume pots used to be $5. Now they're $11, $12. Dead serious.
No, yeah, I mean it's not even the the non Van Halen stuff is been elevated too. But grabbing a Van Halen guitar now, whether you're doing a build or whether you're buying a Wolfgang, Music Man PD, I mean anything. I mean, it's just so freaking stupid priced right now. I mean, I'm on the internet every day, and I don't really need any guitars anymore. Once my Dragon Snake is here in a couple of weeks, by the way, that's almost done. And my Mini Les Paul, which was built by Donnie Ward, and with the help of Dave Petchalot, so it's the legit one, same one he has. Once those are in, I'm good. But I'm looking at stuff, and I'm just like
2021. Rob said that he's good on guitars and he's probably not going to buy anymore. So everyone write that date down.
I didn't say I wasn't going to buy anymore. I just said I'm good on guitar. I still buy them. But, I mean, I look at the prices and I'm just like, this is freaking stupid. And a part of me sometimes wants to message these guys and be like, what are you guys doing? I mean, you're trying to capitalize off of Eddie Van Halen's, passing. And it's like, I don't not understand it. I understand it, but it's like, it's such a shame because, people are trying to build their collections. They're trying to do what we've been doing all these years. And most young kids or younger guys or ladies, whatever, they can't, they're not going to spend $5,000 on a PD Wolfgang. That's just stupid. And I honestly hope these people that are asking those prices, I hope they sit on these guitars and I hope they don't sell them. And I hope they have no choice but to drop the prices because it's just stupid. They're not worth that.
Yeah.
They're great guitars. I have them. But that's just, they went from, within a matter of 6 months, they went from, averagely inflating prices each year because stuff, everything's relative, to just stupid money. And we all know why. And it's uncalled for. It's wrong. And I don't like it. And I'll never give anyone that kind of money for those kind of guitars. And I feel bad for the people that are trying to get them because it's just wrong. And I'll give EVH a lot of credit. EVH, the line EVH, they're still asking decent prices for theirs because Wolfgang and Matt Bruck are the ones that are heading that up right now, and they're doing the right thing. Unfortunately, it's hard to get EVH stuff because it's also back ordered. So, that's just the way it goes. But
right.
It is
Cobra Kai and Andrew, British Electric Blues Show, and Hef are all in as well.
What's up, guys?
What's up, guys? So, Rob, with that being said, they have held their their standards on what they're charging for guitars, because they really haven't gone up. And everyone knows, and Caleb just said this on our show last weekend, Eddie's last gift to us was that Frankie relic, to get that thing for $1,600, right, out the door.
Great.
Compared to the $25,000 one, which there's not much difference between the two. They could easily sell that thing for $3,000, and people would pay $3,000 for them. But they're not. They're keeping their head right and doing it. Wolfie doesn't want people to capitalize on his dad's legacy and passing.
Well, Wolfgang, right, exactly. Wolfgang, and this is my opinion, but Wolfgang and Matt, they want people to be able to own this stuff. They want people to be able to buy his dad's line of items. They want that. They're not looking to make money. I mean, it's not, it's stupid. But this kind of stuff's been going on for years. Eddie would sign a guitar and then, give it to a charity, and whoever ran the charity would grab the guitar, say it's not worth more than $1,000. Then I'd put it up on eBay for like $10,000. I mean, we've seen that stuff countless times. It's, I've never been lucky enough to have a Van Halen signed guitar. I've always wanted one, and I'll never get one. Well, I mean, I'll never get one that was personalized to me, obviously now, but
right.
I was never lucky enough to have one. And I understand when people come into hard times and, whatever, medical issues, I get that. But just to capitalize on it, it's such a shame, because the people that end up with these guitars are not the people like us that are normal playing fans that love the music and appreciate what Edward gave us all those years. It's not those kind of people. It's the people that are just in it for the monetary reasons, and this is such a shame. It's sad.
Yeah, the weekend warriors that have money and want to buy their hobby or buy their passion, versus us, where it's ingrained in our DNA, and we naturally just gravitate to it because we genuinely hobby to us, not a it's not like a diamond ring or a badass sports car, where someone just buys it because they think they're going to look cool in it, Right.
Brandon Long just said something about what do you think of the pictures of the Rude guitar? Those are pretty cool. And here's mine. Here's my Rude guitar, and it's the 1981 era, the second half where Eddie put this on there. And this is a 2-inch thick body.
Yep.
This one was done by Jerry Leica years ago, and it's freaking exact. It's got the EVH Rude under here. And if you hold it up to the light, you can see the grain in it. And this guitar was and is very grainy. But yeah, this is a great guitar. Again, it's, it's great seeing that guitar. It really is. It's great seeing the Rude guitar.
It's crazy. I put some pictures on Instagram, and they got a ton of likes, like a ton. And then so I threw another set on there. I don't know why, but for some reason people are kind of digging that guitar. I was going to put the one of the girl down in your basement, your girlfriend, in front of it, but I didn't have her permission. I didn't do it.
Yeah. That's no, you can post that. I don't care. You can post that. That's fine. You can post it. I mean, we're not well, never mind. I won't say anything. Actually, she is doing well. I just talked to her the other day, and she's doing well. I'm sure she wouldn't have any problems with that. Matter of fact, Allison, she's probably watching this right now. So if you are, you can certainly say hi. But so it's nice to see some pictures and stuff coming out. And honestly, I think that we're going to continue to see more and more and more and more. And it's I think the live footage and the live audio and the pictures and the stories and certainly a bunch of guitar related stuff is going to continue to come out, and I think that's freaking awesome. I really do.
Yeah. I had sent you that the picture of the dragon snake a couple days ago where Dave's next to him singing. I don't know. Had you seen that one before?
Yeah. That picture came out about a few months back or so. I actually have it hanging on my wall over there, actually.
Oh, you do?
That's a great pick.
Here, this one right here.
Yeah, great picture. And that's a different neck than the neck that we were used to seeing on it.
Yeah, it's it almost looks like a skinny Ibanez neck,
Yeah, it does.
right?
And I'm right. It almost, yeah, it looks like a, yeah, yep. It looks like something that would be on one of Vi's guitars.
So, Rob, real crazy, and I don't want to get into a whole nother tangent, but Eddie, he didn't refret hardly anything. Guy literally, I swear, he changed necks on guitars every 3 months. It's like you notice that that's how he kept
Yeah.
his guitars from getting worn out.
Right.
You just slap another neck on it.
Yeah, I agree. I'm listening to you, so keep talking.
Yeah, it's crazy because some of these people, they've looked at some of the guitars that he's played, even the Frankie with the original neck, and that's been on 4 different guitars, and the frets they're not wore out. I
Well,
wonder if that's because he's swapping them
in,
and didn't, I don't know.
well, I agree. And in that DiMarzio article, which I'm going to be nice and
Oh,
say,
yeah, dude.
Kurt just sent me this book today, which is the entire article, the whole read that we all saw, and he put it into a book fashion. And he just totally kicked ass with this thing. We've seen most of these pictures, but it's just great. It's a book. He put it into a book fashion, and it's incredible. But in there, they say when Eddie showed up for that initial photo shoot, he had the pickup truck and he had the 5150 and the Frankenstrat and the Silvertone guitar, whatever, the airline guitar, and it said that at some point in that article, they just reread it again today. It said that the guy picked up Eddie's 5150 guitar, and he said the thing had incredibly low action, played like butter. It just had that acoustic ring when you strummed a chord. It was great. But it also said that the frets were pretty shot. Now, that would have been on the original neck. That would have been on the original neck. And it's interesting because when Eddie, I'm beginning to think that one of the, and we all know Eddie was with Charvel and doing the Art Series guitars and all that. But we know that in 2000, yeah, there it is. In 2004, when Eddie took that guitar on tour, and I actually was able to see that guitar about 3-4 feet away and get pictures of it, it had the Charvel neck on. And I think one of the reasons why he didn't keep that original neck on there then, I mean, he was with PV and still technically and all that, but Eddie was also in that mindset then. He really didn't give a crap what anybody thought. He was doing what he wanted. If you look at his cabinets back then in the 2004 tour, and I was just watching the Cincinnati 04 show today, they all had a big fat circular EVH logo in the middle of the cabs, and those were PV cabs because this is 2004. Ooh. They had a big fat, like if you see mine, the EVH, had a big fat EVH logo in the middle of the PV cabs. And what I'm thinking is one of the reasons that, yeah, exactly. One of the reasons that he didn't have that neck on there was because he put the Charvel neck on there with no logo on the headstock because it had good frets. I mean, he could have probably had that other one refretted, but the only other thing I want to say in this read here.
God, great read. And, we did the 5150 show, Andrew and Brad and I, we did a whole show just on this article. I mean, and we only got through half the content. We didn't even get to the live.
For years, I've always said, and I need to redo my Kramer 5150 video that I've done. One of my next projects is going to be, I'm going to do a video of the Kramer 5150, and I'm going to delete my old video I did a couple years ago because there's definitely some stuff that we've learned since then. Years ago,
that's the first show I ever saw you on. Was I stumbled across that one night at like 2 a.m, and that's what introduced me to Johnny Bean, and it was that video. So I better try to download it before you delete it.
Well, like it definitely has some good info in it, I guess, but there's definitely some stuff that I've learned since then that I would like to change. I used to think the guitar was Poplar for years, and that's because Paul Unkert told me it was. But then again, not to discredit Paul or anyone else. I mean, these people made hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of guitars over the years and worked with numerous people. They're not geeks like us that focus on one individual artist and articulate every little thing. They don't remember. I mean, it was 30 freaking years ago.
It'd be like me asking you, hey, Rob, you went to McDonald's 20 years ago with your dad and you ordered a Happy Meal. Did you get Coke or did you get Sprite? Would you remember?
Yeah, I'd probably say root beer, but that's just me. um, I thought it was Poplar for years and years and years, and who knows, maybe the 5150 is. And then I went in the basswood phase, and I still go back and forth between basswood and ash. I know the guitar was really looked at in detail last year, or a couple of years ago when it was in Tennessee, and they confirmed it was actually basswood. I'll go with that story. But in this article, a lot of people are saying, oh, it says what the 5150 was basswood. No, it doesn't. It doesn't say the 5150 was. It actually reads, I think his favorite Frankenstrat had a basswood body, and a Music Man made about 4 test guitars with different woods for Eddie to try. He chose the bass and maple combination on his favorite. The maple top was added mostly for cosmetic reasons. Now, you can say that.
How many people have called the 5150 the Frankenstrat? How many people have called the Kramer ad guitar the Frankenstrat? How many people have called that? Everyone calls.
The only thing that makes me think,
they call it Frankenstrat.
The only thing that makes me think about this particular article, that when he said Frankenstrat, he meant Frankenstrat, not the 5150, is he refers to both of those guitars numerous times in this article. He knows what the 5150 is, and he knows what the Frankenstrat is, and he refers to both of those guitars numerous times prior to that statement, which is pages later. So my thinking is the Frankenstrat is basswood, and the 5150 is probably ash or basswood. I think he was referring to Eddie's favorite guitar, because we all know that the Frankie was always his favorite guitar. The 5150 had been from. That's just my thinking. Do I have any proof? No, but it doesn't say that the 5150 was taken apart and was turned, and that was basswood. It says his favorite Frankenstrat, or his favorite the Frankenstrat. So that's just my thinking. But again, guys, it's still a mystery. But I do really think when they kind of articulated that guitar a couple years ago when it was in Nashville, Tennessee, hey, our good friend David Allen Wright says that it's ash. So we'll find out. We'll see. Maybe one day we'll get some more information on it. I mean, I'll tell you that out of the one thing I would love to actually look at and see. I mean, I'm never going to get a chance to see Eddie. But at the same time, I would love to be able to hold that 5150 guitar one time in my life, because that's the guitar that got me into playing 20-something years ago. And it's still my absolute favorite guitar. And that would be a dream come true for me to actually hold the 5150 guitar and actually look at it. I don't even care if it's basswood or ash or poplar. It doesn't even matter to me, but I would love to hold the guitar that actually started this whole thing for me 20-something years ago, back in 1990. Well, the guitar building stuff in 1996 when I started playing.
It looks light,
Yeah, it does.
It looks light, and I know you can't. You can tell if someone's holding the cup if it's empty or if it's full. It just seems like that guitar, the way he carries it. It seems like it's a lighter guitar, but
yeah,
who knows?
Caleb says he made his stainless steel 5150 with basswood. That's awesome, dude. And that's what mine is. Actually, my 5150 is basswood. And Caleb's stainless steel is really cool.
I got mine from K&E Guitars, just like Caleb did. Same body.
Yep. Hey, why don't we? We're actually 35 past. Why don't we start talking about those guitars that we were gonna mention?
That's a good segue. Let me pull them up here, Rob.
Long mentions. What do you guys think about the recent photo of the infamous VH logo guitar? Well, that's the picture of the body hanging on the wall. That's been there for years. It's probably a gift to Eddie through a guitar company. Excuse me. I have a picture of an actual blue VH guitar. That was one of Van Halen's guitars. That's actually all put together with a neck and everything, which is a different one than the one that I think you're talking about. You got to remember, Eddie's been given these guitars, and people. If we were up in 5150 right now and we were able to go through Eddie's guitars, we would find some that would go, "Whoa, what's this? Whoa, where'd this come from?" There's just so many we haven't even seen. My guess is that's a body that was given to Eddie years ago, and nothing really ever happened with it.
Right. So, Rob,
I'm
we have the Kevin Dugan guitar right here that's up for auction, and I'll turn the floor over to you if you want to talk about it. But I just noticed just now it's got eye bolts on the bottom, and then it has a strap lock or a strap on the bottom, and then one on the horn. So I wonder what happened there. Did you see that?
Can you click on that picture? I have pictures of it on my phone.
Can you see it now?
No, I just see you and me. I see it at the bottom. Oh, hold on. Maybe if I click on it, hold on.
No, I'm.
Oh, well,
can you guys in the chat see the photo? It says I'm sharing.
Well, maybe they can see it. Maybe we can't see it. Hey, Steve, I'm Stephen Willard. I'm doing good. I've been great, other than a broken back, but I'm doing good. Hope you're well, too. Okay, Johnny says they see it. Okay, good.
So this is the Kevin Dugan one.
Yeah, so there's a video that a guy put up on YouTube and Facebook and whatever last week and whatever, and I watched the video and it was cool, and that's a legit guitar. It is. It's a real deal. There's a little bit of misinformation in that video. As I'm watching it, I'm kind of going, ugh, like, I wish people. Well,
5 minutes of research.
I wish when people would put those things up, they would actually put out accurate information. First off, Kevin Dugan was not Eddie's guitar tech. He was Michael Anthony's guitar tech. Zeke Clark was Eddie's guitar tech during the 5150 and OU812 eras. So there's the first correct. Kevin Dugan, obviously being Michael Anthony's guitar tech for all those years, was like this with Eddie, of course. We all know that because they all traveled together, they toured together, they played together, they drank together, they partied together after and whatever. So Kevin Dugan always wanted a striped Kramer 5150 stylish guitar. He always wanted one. He always liked them. So after the tour was over, or at some point after that tour, I can't recall if it was during the 5150 tour or OU812, whatever it was, at some point in the late 80s, Eddie gave that guitar to Kevin Dugan and he signed it to him on the body. And that's a legit guitar. That was one of the backup 5150 guitars that went on tour. So that's true. It was on the 5150 tour. It was in the rack. There's numerous pictures of them. That was one of the backups, just like the 918V was, and the 1984. And there's a 1986 Kramer as well that had 1986 blue space tape on it, which I'm not going to get into right now. It was one of the, and also Eddie also brought the Kramer Steinberger Transtrem guitar with a black headstock, the one that Valerie had the picture with. That also went on tour. And he also brought the one with the unfinished Ripley hockey stick. Yeah, well, it's just easier to grab it. He also brought this guitar on tour. This one was also brought on tour.
Here, let me.
Yeah, this one was also brought on tour. This was also a backup. As far as the Dugan guitar, Eddie did play it, but it was only played for the keyboard songs like Dreams, when Eddie was playing keyboard and he would do the solo on the guitar because the tunings were different for some of the keyboard songs than they were for some of the standard ones. So it's not like it doesn't really have a lot of road wear on it because it wasn't really banged around that much because it was only played for some of the keyboard songs. And typically Eddie would play that one or a different one or the 918V. But yeah, it's a legit guitar. It's a great guitar. The one thing that the gentleman does not mention in the video that he put up, and maybe it's because he doesn't know, the headstock and part of the body was totally repainted. Sometime in between when it was given to Kevin and in 1995, the guitar was stolen, and it was actually damaged during that time. And for whatever reason, the headstock had to be had to be repainted once the guitar was recovered, and it was recovered, obviously, and it was given back to Kevin. The headstock was repainted. So the headstock, and I'm not 100% sure what part of the body, but there's a part of the body that was also repainted. So that's just, yeah, it's the real deal. It's legit. It's cool. It's awesome. It's worth a lot of money. And it was given to Kevin, but the headstock was completely repainted. And so was a small portion of the body. I do know that. And but yeah, that's a great guitar.
We got a special, as Johnny would do. We got a special guest, Kurt Jeffries, in the house.
Hey, Kurt, what's happening?
The number one Kurt. I'm the number two Kurt.
We have the winner of the last weekend here tonight. Because Kurt,
I watched another version of that backstage where he's changing and they're getting the cake ready. It was a totally different version that I hadn't seen before. I just watched on YouTube the other day. It was kind of like behind the scenes of that part of the show. It was pretty cool. So thanks for joining, Kurt, and Fruitcake Tony as well. So anyway, that guitar, Rob, I know you can't see it, but it's basically
at the bottom. But and Hef, you're right. There's another YouTube video on that where the guy actually mentions that.
Yeah. Right. It's basically a 5150 body, or actually Hot for Teacher like body with the slanted pickup. In this photo, it looks like there's only 5 strings on it. I don't know if anyone can see. It looks like one of the saddles is missing on the high E string, but single slanted humbucker. It doesn't even have a volume knob on it. It's just the pole sticking up. Yeah, and the guy that played on YouTube, he played it without the nut being tight, which is kind of funny. But yeah. So who knows how much this thing's going to go for? Probably a ridiculous amount of money. Let me show you. Well, let's do the other striped guitar, Rob. So now I got this Kramer 5150 replica, we'll call it, right?
Johnny says I need to click to allow it to be shown. Kick from studio, ban from studio, edit name.
Don't ban me.
Oh, here it is. Okay. That's the one. Thanks, Johnny.
Thank God we got the Godfather, Johnny Bean, in the house to walk us rookies through.
I know, right? Like, get by the seat of our pants.
Technology peak for me was frozen pizza.
And microwaves. So
the story on this one was one of the crew guys from the Balance Tour, I believe, built this guitar himself, and he brought it to one of the what do you call it? My mind's coming to a blank. Sound check. Thank you. He took it to a sound check, and he actually asked Eddie if he would play it, or Eddie grabbed it and played it. And he actually noodled on it for like 10 or 15 minutes. And then he signed it. And he put they say he put one of his cigarette butts in the headstock and gave the guy a couple picks. So if you see the picture, guys, there's a bunch of silver picks. And then you see a white, a red, and a yellow pick. Those must be the ones that Eddie gave him after he played it. Yeah. Let me switch over to the signature part of it so everyone can see that. All right. Can you see that, Rob?
Yep.
Nice copy, Dan. Edward Van Halen, 95. Not for resale.
I know. Caleb, you're right. So sad it says not for resale.
And I told Rob, I sent Rob this picture when I saw it, and I said, I would be so pissed if I told someone, hey, don't sell this, and they turned around and sold it. That's my opinion. Yeah. But I don't know. What are your thoughts, buddy?
I feel the same way. I think they're really cool guitars. They were all backups. They were all guitars that were, made for Eddie. Some of them, some of them weren't on tour. Some of them were like the Doogie guitar did go on tour. It's just a shame that, you know, um, that had to be put on there, not for resale. But it is what it is.
And you notice
Uh,
he has the R with the circle and then the copyright with the circle on there too. Like
yeah,
he's
yeah,
making it official.
yeah. Nice copy, Dan. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool that Eddie actually saw that and was just like, wow, that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Can you click off that for a second? I just want to show one thing here. Stephen Willard just sent a message, and he said, here's a picture of the Dugan guitar. Yeah, I'm already very well aware that I have the magazine, so I had it for years. Steve, thank you. But yeah, this is the Dugan guitar. And I used to think years ago this was the 918V, but it's not. This was actually the Doogie guitar, as far as we know it is. And yeah, pretty cool. These young guitar mags are just amazing. They got some really neat stuff in them. I've been collecting these things for years and years and years and years. But yeah, neat stuff.
Yeah, you're the bushwhacker when it comes to those Japanese guitar magazines. I have like 6 of them, but I've a couple of them that I've bought that he on the cover. And
Yeah,
it takes a month to get here, and then it had like 2 pictures in it.
yeah,
and it was
right.
like $40.
No, Hef, you're right. Eddie knew this stuff was going to happen. And if you go back to 1998, I mean, when they were at the Hard Rock Cafe in Boston, I was there when him and Gary did that. Kind of like, they showed up and did the interviews, and Ed played guitar. I mean, Ed basically says right in there. I have it on audio. He basically says, he said, some guy from a charity actually, they donated a Wolfgang guitar, and some guy from a charity actually sold the guitar. That actually was running the charity. So it's like, yeah, it's a shame people do that kind of stuff. It's too bad, but
Yeah,
it is what it is.
Eddie's whole, what I know of, him is he was willing to give to people. He just wanted to give, and he talked about, how people always give him stuff, where probably every guitar major manufacturer back in the 80s was giving him stuff to try to get him to, sponsor him. And he always wanted to give back. He says, it's not fair that, people are always giving me stuff and I'm a millionaire. So he wanted to turn around and give back, during the Balance tour, or maybe no, it's for an Lawful Carnal Knowledge tour, or Right Here, Right Now. He was giving away guitars and amps to a lot of the bands that were opening up for him, just because he wanted to be nice. There was no agenda behind it. He wasn't trying to make a buck.
Yeah. From the Kramer days, to the Music Man days, to the Wolfgang days, to the PV days, to the EVH days, Eddie gave away so many guitars over the years to people, like you said, just to be nice, and I would like to think that the majority of those people cherished them and kept them and did the right thing with them. Unfortunately, there's a handful of people too that, try to capitalize on it, which is, not cool, but hey, it is what it is,
Yeah, there's some of his major guitars, Rob. He's given away the Megazone.
Yeah.
The Rasta. Really cool story with your buddy Dweezil Zappa.
Yeah.
Eddie gave him a Kramer Voyager when he was like in middle school.
Right.
And Dweezil painted that thing. And he strapped it up a little bit to give it his respect to Eddie. And then later on, Eddie gave him the Rasta. And I want to say Dweezil was in his studio and he saw it over in the corner and it didn't even have a neck on it. And he said, "Oh, that's the guitar you used, for Fair War." And Eddie's like, "You want it? I don't even play it anymore."
That was the guitar that was in Life magazine. He saw it in Life magazine.
Yeah, that's what it was. He had someone throw the neck on it, and he's had it since, cat vomit and all.
Yeah, really cool. And for those of you guys that are watching Running with a Dweezil, there's a new episode coming out pretty soon here, the 1984. Hold on one sec.
Yeah, he's doing Premiere next after this.
Yeah, and in the '84 episode that's coming up, Dweezil has one of the 3 Super Pluto guitars that were made by Steve Ripley. Eddie had one, and Dweezil had another one, and there's another gentleman, I forget his name, it escapes me, had the other one. And he's going to be talking about the Super Pluto guitar because Dweezil has one, so that's pretty cool. I didn't realize Dweezil had one of those.
I knew there was 2 there, so there was more than that, huh?
Yeah, there was a total of 3 made. Eddie had one, Dweezil had one, and another gentleman had the other. And again, I can't think of the guy's name. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So if for those of you guys that are watching Running with a Dweezil, you're going to get a chance to see that. It's pretty cool, pretty neat, or hear about it, I should say. And there will be some pictures online at some point. Like I said, all this stuff is kind of coming out of the woodwork now. It's all just kind of like, every other week, boom, boom, boom. We're hearing about this, hearing about that, and it's pretty cool. I think it's neat. I'm pretty excited to see what's coming down the pike.
Right.
But yeah, as far as guitars for me is concerned, yeah, my Dragon Snake is going to be done here pretty soon. In the next couple of weeks, it's getting finished up by Jeff Rich from RCA Guitars, and the Mini Les Paul will be done too. And yeah, that'll be cool. Those have been kind of a while coming, and definitely pretty pumped about those. So that'll be neat.
So I'm assuming you'll want to do a live show when you get the Dragon Snake.
Yeah, we'll definitely go live on that one. That's a pretty cool guitar. There's not a lot of those replicas out there. I know Scott Smith has one. There's a couple of other guys that have them. Hubbard had one, and Jeff's actually building Chris another one right now too, because Hubbard's going to get one. But yeah, that's kind of a more rare guitar, and quite frankly, it's one that I, up until maybe a year or two ago, I was like, that's awesome. I mean, I always loved it, but I never really thought I would have one. So, definitely pretty cool. So it'll be neat.
Is your hardware wise, do you have everything for it?
Yep. I got the neck right there hanging on the wall, the black headstock. The neck's all ready to go. It's a lock custom neck. And all the hardware is upstairs. I'm not using a Charvel V-Trem on it. I'm actually, and I'm also not using a Black Floyd like it would have today. I've actually kind of come together and found something that, and I'll go over this. Yeah, I think I showed you, but I got a gold non-tuner Floyd, and I put some different parts together and straightened out the whammy bar and put a gold tip on it. So it's going to be a non-tuner Floyd because that's what the body's routed for, but it's going to look like a Charvel V-Trem. So awesome. It's going to be kind of neat. Yeah, you guys will get a chance to check it out. But yeah, all the hardware is ready to go. Once I get the body in, I'll just put the neck on and throw everything on together and bring it up to my guitar tech up in Keene, New Hampshire, and boom, yeah, we'll be good to go.
On my Bumblebee, I'm trying to figure out what Floyd I want to put on it. I don't want to put the non-fine tuner Floyd on there just for the sheer fact of it's nice to have the fine tuners. So I was going to ask your opinion. What would you do if you didn't have the bridge that you have on yours? What would be your second choice?
I would do what I did with my last B, and I would put I just put a chrome German-made regular Floyd Rose on.
Have you seen the nickel? Have you seen the nickel finished one?
Yeah, those are pretty cool. I
was thinking about that because it looks kind of tarnished or a little bit. It's a darker chrome kind of.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I mean, it really depends on what kind of era you're going for. If you're going for the era of what it was like the last time we saw it before it got buried with Dimebag, it had a German gold Floyd Rose on it with a black pickup. With a different headstock with black electrical tape. That was never really with a big black speed knob. That was never my favorite version of the guitar. It was probably my least favorite version of it. But I mean, you could, I mean, honestly, I would either put a gold or a chrome Floyd on it, just a regular one. Yeah. Yep.
Yes. So I'm going to do a white pickup, and I'm doing a full maple headstock. I got that. That should be coming. I've already ordered the neck. So and of course, I think it had the gold string retainer pretty much the whole time on that headstock, correct, Rob? In between a couple.
I mean, right. Depending on which one you're doing. Like I said, on mine, I chose to go with the.
Perfect.
I chose to go with the antique bronze.
I mean, that's badass.
Yeah, it really looks so close to like what, the closest you can possibly get to doing what Chip did, and making the original one. This is the one that I just repainted myself back a couple months ago. It's got the Donnie Ward bean neck on it. He did the burns and everything in there. It came out great. I put a set of Schaller double tabs on it, and it's got the vintage prototype nut. If you guys can see that.
Yeah.
And the only difference with this guitar from probably one of the real ones is that the route in the back.
You put plastic back there. That's a great idea, Rob.
Yeah, well, the route on the back is not like the original, but it's close. So I got a tone knob in there. But what I decided I wanted to do, so like, my belt and stuff didn't get caught, I went to the hardware store and I got a piece of plexiglass, real thin, the same width of what a cavity cover would be. And I took the original cavity cover and I scored it, just cut it out. And I basically put that on. So it's a plexiglass cavity cover, so you can still see, but actually seemed to do the trick pretty good. But yeah, this guitar came out great. Again, I painted it myself. It's DiMarzio Super Distortion. But yeah, great guitar. But I'll tell you, this particular bridge, even though it doesn't have fine tuners, it does stay in tune pretty good.
Does it really?
And I have some Van Halen picks coming in that look like the real ones. I got some off of eBay, some cheapos, but they're they look like the real ones. So yeah, Caleb's messaging me, so that's what the big is.
Yeah, I got some of those picks. Let me grab them.
So Caleb actually just sent a great picture here. Check this out, Kurt.
Thank God I'm wearing pants.
If you want
Aren't you glad I'm wearing?
You can do the exact same thing that I did. Just do this. Get the antique bronze with the fine tuners on it.
Oh, antique bronze.
That's a great idea, Caleb.
And then put the bronze fine tuners or the brass fine tuners on there.
Right? Well, you can if you want. They're not on here, but you can. Everybody goes out of their way for brass fine tuners. Just take some sandpaper and sand them, and they'll look like brass. That's what I do. You don't need brass. Just people will always ask me that. Just take sandpaper to the fine tuner, sand the black off, and they're gonna look right. Yep. I got some of those coming too. And then all you got to do is use that bridge, and then just put a chrome bar on it, and you'll be good, Kurt. That's what
on the pickups, Rob. I've kind of narrowed it down to 4, and I'm getting everyone's advice or their recommendation. So I got it narrowed down to the Pariah Red in white, of course, white cover. The Seymour Duncan 78.
That's my favorite. I love those.
That was your recommendation. I was actually thinking of going rogue and doing a tone zone, a white one.
Yep.
Just to do it, or Guitar Fetish has a VEH brown sound white high output pickup that I'm looking at. So I'm kind of taking those 4, and I haven't decided which one I'm going to do yet. But so put in the chat if you guys have any recommendations on what you would do.
Don't worry about the chat, Caleb. I think you made his day because I think you gave him the idea of what bridge he's going to use. So I think that the ding was well worth it. Caleb says Pariah Pasadena White in my beat. Yeah, and I agree. So I got I have a Pasadena White in my George Lynch Tiger guitar, and I love it. That's whatever you do, I would go with Sean Christopher from Pariah. I mean, Sean's great, and I if you tell him what you're looking for, he'll give you the exact thing that looks like it and sounds like it, and won't cost as much.
Nesdal recommended the Pariah Red. What's the difference in
that's a good one
between the white and the red?
The thing is, it depends what kind of wood you're using on your body.
Ash.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you want to go with a Duncan, I love the Duncan 78. I love those pickups. I love them, but they don't always necessarily sound as badass in like a poplar body as they would like a ash body or a basswood body. It kind of depends. So I think I would call Sean Christopher from Pariah and say, hey, this is the type of wood I'm using. This is what I'm looking for looks. This is the sound I want. What do you recommend? He'll tell you exactly what you want.
Yeah. I'll tell you, I got in my wife, Frankie, Rob. Not very many people don't know about this company, but I have Planet Tone. You ever heard of them?
Nope.
Yeah, Planet Tone. They're in Denver, Colorado. This is a Pasadena humbucker, and this thing sounds amazing.
It's a Pasadena Black. Yeah.
Well, it's from Tone Zone Tone Zone is the company, but it's a Pasadena 70.
Oh, okay.
78 Pasadena is what it's called. But
I don't want
to throw the same pickup in another guitar,
Yeah.
That's why I want to do something different. So yeah, Pariah, everyone's recommending Pariah. Caleb, it looks like you have the Pariah in your B. Is your B a ash body?
I'm trying to remember. I don't recall what his was.
But yeah, I'm excited for the stuff to start coming in. It's crazy. Cobra Kai Platoon mentioned it early on in the chat. You can't even get Floyd Roses right now. They're like back ordered everywhere. It's ridiculous.
I know.
Okay.
Andy Papiccio from Floyd Rose. I mean, they're all just like, gosh, it's just crazy, man. You can't get anything. You can't get anything at all. But, just hang in there, guys, because stuff's coming. But I just like to take a minute because we got to wrap up here in a couple of minutes. I'd like to give a shout out to my good friend Johnny Bean, our good friend Johnny Bean, and Johnny Bean TV, and everything that he does with his shows. I'd like to give a shout out to Caleb, Nerd Halen, our good friend, Johnny, Caleb, and also John Mancuda. He's probably the most inappropriate person I've ever met in my entire life, but I love him to death, and I love him for that. He's a great guy. I can't wait to come out to California and see you guys. We'll definitely have some good hangs. It'll be fun seeing you guys.
Man, maybe I should fly down when you go down there.
Yeah, and then we can tailgate up to Seattle, because the one place I've never been is Seattle, Washington.
Hey, real quick, shout out to Caleb. Rob, if you didn't watch the 5150 show last Friday, Caleb came on and did about an hour cameo. And nice. If those of you if you haven't seen, check it out. Caleb knocked everyone's socks off with 3 unbelievable, heartwarming stories about Eddie. One of them I hadn't heard. The other 2 are epic stories. So, Caleb, thank you so much for jumping on the show. Great reviews. Everyone's just been talking about how awesome it was to see you. So, Rob, I know when we do that show, you're like 4 hours already in bed. But if you get some time, check it out. Caleb, sure. He knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, Caleb, and keep those videos coming, man. I love your style of playing. I love your sound. I always have. And Caleb's great because Caleb will play an Eddie Van Halen riff, and he'll play it amazing, but he adds a little different touch to it. It doesn't sound exactly like Eddie played it. He does his own little touch to it which I think is that individualism piece. And I think that's so important for a guitarist. A guy like me, I just try to play it as close to Eddie as I can because that's all I know. Every once in a while, I'll make a mistake and I'll be like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. But I did it by, I did it by default. It wasn't like planned. But Caleb's great because he plays an Eddie riff and he just adds his own little touches to it. It just sounds incredible. So keep doing that, dude. That's your thing, man. It's great, and love seeing that stuff. So keep it going. I'd like to give a shout out to Dave Nestal. Says Dave definitely is keep those shows coming too, bud. And yeah, everybody else that's out there doing their stuff. CHS Guitars, Craig. Keep
Craig,
up with the awesome builds you're doing, man. And my good friend Chris Hubbard, who's building like 25 or 50 5150s for people now.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's got like Chris Locke set him up with like 50 5150 bodies, and he's doing all in necks, and he's doing all these 5150s for people. It's so cool, man. It's great. And all you guys that watch the show, everybody that watch it. Hey, Janice, I didn't get a chance to say hi. Fruitcake Tony, everybody. But, I mean, thanks for watching the shows, guys. I am going to do an updated video on the 5150 guitar because there's a lot more information that well, not a lot, but there's a little bit more information that I've picked up. And I'd like to kind of fix a couple of things. So I will be doing another video on the 5150 guitar, just on that guitar from when it started to where it is today, as far as we know. And I just love getting on Instagram, and I love seeing all you guys' videos. Another guy, Jack, oh my gosh, what's his name? Jack, freaking looks like Chris Hubbard, longer hair. He plays. He's up there.
In Nashville?
Yeah, I think so. Come on, guys, help me out. I can't believe I'm forgetting his name. We message all the time. Jack Devine. Jack Devine. That's his name, yeah. Jack Devine. I love his videos. He's always up. He's freaking just an incredible player. He looks just like Chris Hubbard, just with a little bit longer hair. And yeah, great guy, great videos. I mean, everybody's just killing it. Pete Thorne, he's just class act, amazing guitar player. I just love getting on Facebook or Instagram and seeing everything that all these people put up. It's just great to be a part of it. It's so much fun doing what we do and seeing what everybody has to offer. And thank you guys for watching this show. I will be doing more. And yeah, thank you for Kurt for jumping in and joining me tonight.
Yeah, real quick, let me give a quick shout out to my two compadres, Brad Cook in Australia and Andrew, aka Fender Guru, in New Zealand. Go check out every other Friday we do the 5150 show. Next Friday we're going to be deep diving into the tracks for Van Halen 2. So appreciate you guys. Thanks for jumping in. And then also Fruitcake Tony. On Sundays, he has his show, Halenville, which I've been blessed to be able to jump on a couple times, that him and Johnny Bean and Bent Tom do. So everything Halen, there can't be enough Van Halen channels on YouTube. And I think Fruitcake Tony said it best. There's plenty of room for more Van Halen shows. And if you don't like it and you change the channel, you're probably going to find another Van Halen show. So it ain't going away. We're going to keep this train going, and yeah, it's awesome.
Fruitcake Tony says, Rob, Snake Dragon, you must have just jumped in. We just talked about that about 15 minutes ago. It's almost done. Stand by. Jeff Rich from RCA Guitars is going to be shipping that body out to me. Yeah, we just watch the whole show, Fruitcake, and you'll get the gist on that. But yeah, that's coming. Internet money. I just say, homie, don't roll that way. And most of you guys that know me know that that's not me. But anyways, thanks, guys. Really appreciate you watching, and we'll be doing more. And yeah, rock on, man. And thanks, Kurt. Don't hang up.
All right. Thanks,
all right, guys. Thank you so much.
Have a great rest of the week.
Guys. Rock on. Have a good night, guys. Thank you.